Good morning, everyone. I'm Heather Gallegos, Chairwoman of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. But apparently, just for this morning, I am a Macarena dancing chamber reindeer as well. Thank you so much. I did not get a chance to see that video, so that was a thrill for everyone this morning. Anyway, I want to welcome everyone back to Zooming at Perc and wish you all a happy holiday season. As we get things going, we recommend you view this perk in speaker mode to enhance your viewing pleasure. We've found speaker mode offers the best flow with the least distraction. During today's program, everyone will be muted except the designated speaker. But don't worry, this is perk, so we'll have time for a virtual business card exchange about halfway through the program. And now, let's begin our program, as always, with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for joining me. You should have received our perk brochure with your reminder email and login information. We also included a new member addendum that includes contact information for organizations that have joined the chamber since June, as well as a listing of our chamber benefit partners. Chamber benefit partners provide comprehensive benefit programs for members of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber endorses their products and services, and they help support the Chamber's quality of life community initiatives and member service programs. Because you belong, these value-added benefits can save you time and money. So each month, we try to highlight one of them at Perk to make sure you have the information you need to take full advantage of your membership. This month's highlighted member benefit is Accident Fund. If you've been to our live December perks in the past, now would be the time that our Santa Elf singers would sing a twisted holiday song in honor of our next presenter, which would normally be Laura Hall from Accident Fund. Then she would climb the steps to the podium and present a really big check to Veronica, representing the dividends our chamber members received this year for participating in the Chamber's Accident Fund program. Well, that is not going to happen today. Due to COVID, Santa's elves are not allowed to get together for choir practice, so unfortunately, they cannot provide live entertainment this morning. Also, Laura was not able to join us today to hand off that really big check. However, we do have this. There it is. And Laura did provide me with some valuable information to share. Accident Fund has been partnering with the Chamber since 1999. That is over 20 years, to offer member benefits on workers' compensation insurance. Those benefits include 5% upfront savings on worker compensation premiums, access to online tools to help reduce losses in the workplace, and the potential to earn a dividend based on the group's performance. To date, members of the Saginaw Chamber have earned dividends of over $1.7 million, and this year was no exception. In an effort to get money to policyholders as quickly as possible due to the current situation with COVID, Accident Fund actually paid policyholders that earned dividends a little early this year. Thank you, Accident Fund. I am pleased to announce that this year, Saginaw Chamber members earned a 9% dividend. Therefore, Accident Fund paid out $143,290 direct to members in the program back in July. If you are interested in finding out how you can participate in the Accident Fund Workman's Comp program, please reach out to the Chamber or visit www.accidentfund.com. Oh, and just because tis the season, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is when Accident Fund drops by to pay. Okay, all kidding aside, I guess I could have sang that, but nobody wants that this early in the morning. All Chamber tools are here for you to use as you work to reopen or increase your business connections and bottom line. They're part of the Chamber's guiding principles to connect, communicate, and influence for our members. And we strongly encourage you to live local and support your fellow Chambers members whenever possible. And now, please join me in welcoming your 2020 Chamber Ambassador Chair, Dawn Boucher from Manor Group.
Good morning, everyone, and a special welcome to our newest Chamber member today. We are so happy you could join us. As the economy continues its struggle against COVID, it's especially important for area businesses to support each other. Partnering with the Chamber is a great way to do just that. Membership gives you access to local support network for information, best practices, new business leads, communication, connection, opportunities, even at the end of a crazy year during a worldwide pandemic. That's why I am so happy to introduce our new member this morning. In the midst of all the crazy, they're building their network and supporting their local economy. I am very happy to introduce Barton Woods Assisted Living. Barton Woods is a 20-unit, state-licensed assisted living facility located in Freeland, Michigan, the heart of the Great Lakes Bay region. Barton Woods offers residents an affordable, high-quality lifestyle nestled in a wooded setting. Barton Woods Assisted Living provides personalized services to seniors who live independently and those who require assistance with the activities of daily living. Barton Woods is a fully modern living environment which considers the individual's needs of each resident. Welcome to the Chamber. And now, Heather, it's back to you.
Thanks so much, Dawn. Typically, the December Perc features our new member expo. And even though we can't meet in person to visit everyone's tables, we do want to take just a minute to recognize and thank our new member expo sponsor, Chase Bank. Chase is the U.S. consumer and commercial banking business of J.P. Morgan, Chase & Company, a leading global financial services firm with $2.6 trillion in assets and operations worldwide. Chase is proud to serve nearly half of America's households with a broad range of financial services, including personal banking, credit cards, mortgages, auto financing, investment advice, small business loans, and payment processing. With more than 4,700 branches, 16,000 ATMs, Chase.com, the Chase mobile app, Chase Credit, and Chase debit cards, Chase lets you choose how and where to bank. Thank you, Chase Bank. At this time, I'd also like to thank our 2020 Premier Perc sponsors. the organizations that make the Percolator Breakfast possible by underwriting all 10 of our events during the year. All of our 2020 Premier Perk sponsors are included on your screen and in your Perk brochure. We encourage you to thank them for sponsoring the Percolator Breakfast and support them with your business whenever possible. Thank you and happy holidays to all our Premier Perk sponsors. And now I'd like to welcome Julie Tactor with Cumulus Media and Valley United Insurance Agency and Vice Chair of the Chamber's Young Professionals Network Steering Committee with a YPN update. Take it away, Julie.
As we look ahead to the new year, the YPN and Steering Committee are still planning and coordinating events as we navigate these unprecedented times. Following the new year, we will be hosting our first ever virtual YPN After 5 on January 28th, and we're also planning a virtual trivia night in February. Please stay tuned for additional fun details to come regarding both of those events. As always, YPN members can stay most up to date with YPN happenings and events by keeping an eye in on your emails and on your YPN social media platforms. We also want to thank our YPN and Chamber members who have graciously donated to the Shoebox Saginaw Drive. Your support is going to make all the difference. Obviously, with things different this year, and with not being able to meet and collect items in person, despite these setbacks, we were still able to collect a very good amount of donations and items, which will support women in our Saginaw community. The YPN Executive Committee is in the process of wrapping and finalizing the donations, and we plan to personally deliver the items tomorrow afternoon. Again, we sincerely appreciate your support and generosity. That's the latest from the YPN, and on behalf of the YPN and our entire steering committee, we wish you and your family a safe and happy holiday season. We'll see you next year.
Thanks so much, Julie. And a big thanks to all the volunteers and members in our YPN. This group is so important to the future of our businesses and our community. On behalf of the Chamber Board, staff, and membership, we are very grateful for your initiative and involvement. Thank you, Julie. And now it's time for today's community update with the always entertaining and presidential Veronica Horn, your Saginaw County Chamber President and mine. Veronica, it's all yours.
Wow, thanks. And thanks for that just lovely photo up there. Very Christmassy. Just wanted to let you know, this is kind of our year-end wrap up. As you can hear by the previous reports and what you're about to hear from our great friends and co-workers at Saginaw Future, we've been very, very busy this year. It's been a little bit different kind of busy, certainly coming up to date on technology and trying to continue to deliver our services to you, our members, but how to continue to highlight. And you're going to hear from Susan in a little while about a program, exciting program that we're undertaking through the holidays. So I just urge you to shop local. Please shop local. These small businesses are struggling right now from our end, and you're going to hear that in my community update. We're continuing to work. We know that you, as businesses, you know how to deliver services safely to keep you safe, your employees safe, and certainly your customers safe. And we're advocating every single day on your behalf to try and get that message across at the state and federal level. So with that, I want to talk to you about some really interesting stuff that I know you're all been waiting for, and that's government affairs. Both the U.S. Congress and the state legislature are entering what is known fondly in our field as lame duck session. And that simply means it's a closed period of time before sine die, which is the official end of the legislative session. So many times they try and get some critical legislation through, and I'm going to go over briefly what's going on at the federal level and the state level. As you know, we lost our government affairs person, Madison, who left for greater, I mean, she's doing an outstanding job with one of our good members, Consumers Energy. But in the meantime, it's back on my plate, and I'm loving it, and, you know, running around with all my old cohorts in Washington and Lansing. So with that, I want to tell you that on the federal level, December 11th is a key date, and that is when the federal government shuts down if it's not refunded. So Congress is very busy trying to get refunding efforts through each of the 11 budgets through. They are working. I just got an update this morning that they do have a bipartisan bill for another stimulus. Keep your fingers crossed, say a prayer. Small business really needs a stimulus package to be passed. With the election behind us, we're hoping that cooler heads prevail and that there's a bipartisan effort to get a stimulus package coming from the Fed. They're also included in that will be critical monies that are needed to distribute the vaccine. Under the Operation Warp Speed, under President Trump, the vaccine was developed in less than a year, which is amazing. Now they didn't think, Congress, nobody thought that this was going to, remain the problem it has for as long as it has. So they hadn't included monies to distribute a vaccine. So now that will be hopefully included in a stimulus package. So we not only have vaccines developed, but they can get them out to the people that need them most, all of us. With the state of Michigan, you may have read that the governor has asked the legislature to help her find $100 million for stimulus for small business. Again, we've been working with our state legislators, and the senators from our region are actually heading that up, looking for that $100 million. And it may come in different forms. We may revisit the already passed legislation in the budget. So stay tuned for that. We're very optimistic. You may have remembered us talking about a package called Good Jobs for Michigan that we, along Saginaw Future, worked on this to get incentives. It helps us compete with other states and gives incentive for business expansion and new business. Lots of requirements of how many jobs must be created and monies raised. And that expires. And so we're looking at a package of bills that would extend the Good Jobs for Michigan, and that's looking good. And then there's also locally, there was a package of bills that passed out of committee unanimously yesterday that will allow Bay City to enter a public-private partnership on the bridges in Bay City. Now, that is not Saginaw County, but it's one of the efforts that we do in cooperation with the Bay Chamber of Commerce. We do a lot of legislative stuff together. We don't stop at the Saginaw County line. Those Bay City bridges are important for all of us to get back and forth regionally. And so it would allow them to enter that public-private partnership and put some requirements on the private entity that would run the bridge, but it also forgives some of their taxes for taking that bridge over for maintenance. So we're really excited about that. We are now, when the legislature ends and we start a new legislature 2 years in January, it's the time that the chamber, we refocus and set legislative priorities for our view of what should happen in the state. What are our priorities under healthcare, under taxation, under regulatory, and under technology, energy and technology. So we're in the middle of putting some ideas together, and we'll be formulating those legislative policies shortly after the first of the year. Some of you may have seen on Facebook that we posted a fundraiser for our chamber foundation. It's not something that you hear a lot about, but we do have a chamber foundation, and its purpose is to help fund big, bright ideas in Saginaw County. So we work in partnership with other organizations. Again, Saginaw Future. We undertook a study to look at the strengths and weaknesses in Saginaw, how we could build on our medical community, and plans on how to do that. The Chamber Foundation helped with funds. So if you're looking at year-end giving, $10 even helps us build that fund up. So when we need to fund studies or we need to do a big community project, the chamber is at the table and in that game. So thank you for those that supported. take a look at that. It's an important investment that you can make in redeveloping Saginaw County. And then I'm just going to go into a few of our upcoming events. This has always been a hit and miss. We know we're changing dates around so that we can have the best chance of us being together again in person instead of a virtual event. We won't have any business after hours during the first quarter of 2021. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that, you know, come March, the vaccine is widely distributed and we're all going to feel good getting back together again. Our chamber annual meeting is going to be a virtual event on February 26th, 2021. And it will feature a keynote speaker, our executive vice chairman and president of and CEO of Amigo Mobility is Beth Teamy. We'll also be highlighting and thanking our chamber volunteers, and we'll give you an update on where the chamber stands today and where we're going tomorrow. That is it for today's community update. Before I introduce our next speaker, I just want to thank you all for your support throughout this year. It's been a tough year for all of us. We can't thank you enough for your membership and your ongoing support. We're going to need you now more than ever going into this next year. We want to connect you with valuable resources that will help your business. Again, we work in partnership with a number of organizations, most closely Saginaw Future, and they get valuable information on grants. In fact, there's another small business grant coming up that they pushed out yesterday. We'll be helping to promote that. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of our staff. We're here to help you and help your business be successful. So if we can help in any way, let us know. But and I wish you all very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. So with that, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Susan Moody, who is Senior Director of Sponsorship and Membership, with an update on the Chamber Challenge and a look at the relaunch of our Living Local. Susan?
Good morning, everyone. It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas, and I don't know about you, but I always look forward to the December Percolator Breakfast. It's fun and festive, and you can feel the energy from the new Member Expo. While that looks a little different this year, we have the same energy from members supporting other members. If you remember, back in 2013, we launched the Living Local marketing campaign, and that's looked a little different over the years, from focusing on a member marketplace where you could shop special offers and coupons online, to telling stories about our small business members using a billboard campaign. While that platform has changed over the years, the mission hasn't, and that's to support local business success. The Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with Saginaw Future, are asking you to join us in supporting locally owned businesses this holiday season. By deciding to live local and shop local, we have a dramatic effect on our own economy. By choosing to live local and shop local, we create, maintain the uniqueness of our community. And by pledging to live local and shop local, we invest in entrepreneurship, create local jobs, and support our neighbors. So to help you do that, you can find Where to Eat, Drink, and Be Entertained weekly in our new communication series, Holiday Happenings. This special email publication is for use by restaurants, pubs, clubs, caterers, entertainment venues, and arts organizations to promote holiday specials and entertainment provided by chamber members. To have your business or organization be included, send your information to us at info@saginawchamber.org. The information can be in the form of an email, a PDF flyer, or ad. Your promotions and events will also be listed on the events calendar on the Chamber's website, the At a Glance newsletter, and Facebook page. And to make this even more exciting, the Chamber is partnering with Alpha Media to participate in a feature called Social Stream Live, where on-air talent will record at your location. They'll do a short interview with you, and you can talk about your upcoming events and specials. What we are going to do is take that holiday happenings guide and go live with it in 3 different features. One feature will focus on entertainment, the second feature will focus on dining, and the third will focus on retail. But here's the kicker, you have to submit your promotion. If we don't know what's happening, we can't help you. So don't miss out on what's happening. Whether you're on your phone, laptop, or computer, I'm asking you to right now, show me your phones, go to our Facebook page and like Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. And while you're at it, please like the Saginaw County Young Professionals page too. And speaking of the Chamber's Facebook page, it has been blowing up with content and views are up over 200%. Activity on the Chamber's website is up 24%. The easiest and most effective way to reach your audience right now is the online platform. There are still several opportunities to purchase advertising and sponsorships for the new year. There's something for every budget, from $150 to over $3,000 for a year's worth of electronic advertising. Please contact me or one of the Chamber diplomats. We'll walk you through your business and suggest the best way to reach your customers based on your budget. So don't forget to take advantage of the free opportunities that are included in your membership. That's member announcements and member events. That At a Glance newsletter and the Now Holiday Happenings Guide reaches over 3,000 individuals weekly. And remember, your customers and your competition are in the Chamber network. You'll want to keep your name in front of folks because you never know when someone's going to need your product or service. And we understand that your Chamber membership might not be the first thing on your mind every day, but it's the first thing on ours. And we sincerely thank you for your support and we'll go above and beyond on your behalf to help you be successful in this challenging time. So let's help each other to live local and shop local. And now we're going to take a little break for our virtual business card exchange. In just a moment, we'll send you into a breakout room with several other PERC guests where you can introduce yourself and share a little bit about your company. We'll take about 10 minutes for you to zoom around the room, and then we'll zap you right back here to continue the program. Remember to unmute yourself and turn on your video when you get to the break room. And if you use the call-in number to log in instead of the app or the link, you'll have to press *6 to unmute yourself. Happy Zooming!
All right, it looks like everybody's back, and now let's welcome back the hostess and MC with the best reindeer Macarena of any chamber I know, Heather Gallegos.
Thanks so much, Nancy. I appreciate you. Welcome back. I hope everyone had an opportunity to make some new connections. I know I enjoyed everyone in my room. And I hope this is just a great way that everybody still gets to feel that sense of community and connectedness with all of our chamber members. So thank you for participating in the our little Zoom business card exchange. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's featured presenters. Saginaw Future. In all transparency, I'm on the board, and this is just an amazing staff. So I just wanted to put that out there. Saginaw Future is a private nonprofit alliance of local businesses. The Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce, the County and City of Saginaw, 16 local municipalities, labor organizations, educational institutions, and local foundations. SFI is one of only 64 economic development organizations accredited by the International Economic Development Council as an accredited economic development organization. Today, we are fortunate to have JoAnn Crary, President and CEO of Saginaw Future, with us today. She is joined by Tom Miller Jr., Saginaw Future Vice President and Project Developer, and Cassi Miller, SFI Business Development Manager, Project Manager, and Manager of the Saginaw Downtown Development Authority. They are here today to provide us with an overview of economic development projects in our own backyard, as well as an update on Saginaw Future. Please welcome JoAnn Crary.
Thank you so much, Heather. As Heather said, we're so fortunate to have both she and Veronica Horn as members of our Saginaw Future Board. Back in 1992, leaders of the Chamber and the county and the city formed Saginaw Future with a vision of diversifying our economy and to have a single vision for economic development. So it's hard to believe that it's almost been 30 years and, we're still having fun even this year. But today our mission is to advance economic growth in Saginaw County. And we work very hard to support business retention and expansion, attracting new businesses to Saginaw County and supporting the development of small businesses. And to do that, we collaborate very closely with other organizations to achieve the mission, including the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce, the Small Business Development Center, and many others. Next slide, Cassie. Our board is made up of designated seats representing business, labor, education, and government. And each of these individuals is the top leader in their organization. So that allows us to have their expertise and their clear direction on what's happening in the economy. Next slide. We keep a very close eye on employment data. And as you can see, we were humming along with 4.3% unemployment in March. The number one issue we were hearing from businesses was that they were having a difficult time finding talent. So then when COVID hit, our rate spiked to over 25%. Yesterday afternoon, we received the most recent numbers, and in October, our unemployment rate was back to 5.2%. And again, we're starting to hear that businesses are having a tough time to find talent. Others are having difficulty because either they have employees that have COVID, that have been exposed to COVID, or have a family member that might have some underlying conditions, so they're fearful. So it's been pretty difficult for our businesses, but at the same time, we also have some good news to share today. That right-hand chart shows the job losses, and mainly, again, over the long haul, it's been in entertainment and retail services. Thus, what Susan and Veronica talked about in supporting all of our small businesses out there with Takeout Tuesday and some of the other programs that they are marketing. We're really hopeful that once the vaccine is widely distributed, that our businesses will be able to open up completely and our talent will be able to get back to work. And as I said, even with these numbers, there has been some good news. And today we have two of our excellent team members that will share some of the projects that we've been working on and ways that we've been able to access resources and provide those to businesses with our partners at the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. So Tom, we'll turn it over to you first.
Okay, thank you, JoAnn. It looks like we have about 15 minutes before 9, so I'm going to try and go through a bunch of information here pretty quickly. I want to give you an update on our COVID response activities that we've been working on over the last around about 9 months here. And I wanted to especially thank the staff at the Chamber of Commerce. We all have been getting calls, like many of you, from small businesses desperate for assistance, and the Chamber has been a great partner to help us sort of steer those folks in the right direction. I'm going to go over 4 of the existing programs, the ones that have been completed, and then I'm going to share just some brief information about a new program that's coming online. Next slide. The first program was the Michigan Small Business Relief Program, and that was really the state's first emergency response to the COVID pandemic. These were smaller grants, again, emergency funds, somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000. Next slide, Cassie. We were able to, as you can see there, distribute quite a number of grants, and we tried to focus these funds on the Main Street businesses that were core to the the main commercial corridors in our communities throughout the county. Next slide, Cassie. One thing that's been really sort of nice and touching throughout this has been the response of our corporate partners in our community. Those folks reaching out to us saying, how can we help our small businesses. And Consumers Energy is obviously one of those organizations who contacted Saginaw Future. And we were able to distribute some additional funds through the Consumers Energy Foundation to help assist small businesses in Saginaw County. You can see there the results. Again, about 145 grants. And really one of the focuses was to help women and minority-owned businesses. And you can see the results there from those activities. Next slide. Again, another wonderful partnership with the Dow Foundation, strong corporate partner. They saw a need to help nonprofit organizations, and that's something that the chamber, and we've been focused on small businesses, but the nonprofits have been overwhelmed with requests for assistance during this COVID period. We were able to work with the Dow Foundation and distribute those funds. Next slide, Cassie. To some of the most critical nonprofits in our community. You can see there, 9 nonprofits received over $80,000 in grants. Next slide. This one was by far the largest round of funding that we received through the state of Michigan. The state distributed over $100 million throughout the state. This one, we were inundated because we were well into the pandemic at that time. This was in the middle of the summer, towards the end of summer. We received hundreds and hundreds of phone calls, and I think over 700 requests just in Saginaw County. Next slide, Cassie. We were able to distribute over $3 million to over 500 businesses, and we acted as the administrator for both Bay and Saginaw County. This was a regional grant program, so we were all trying to pitch in to help out and distribute these funds as expeditiously as possible. This one, the grants were more sizable, and I think they did provide a little bit of stopgap for the 500 businesses. These were $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 grants. And I just want to say personally, I think I took over 600 phone calls during this process, this last round. And there were a lot of folks there were a lot of tears shared. There were folks that were praying for Saginaw Future. It was really touching to hear, the personal connection that we received from folks that were in desperate need. I talked to folks that were on the verge of being evicted from their business. I talked to one lady who had never been on any kind of government assistance, who had to apply for food stamps and housing assistance because her business was decimated. And these funds really did help to save a number of those businesses and families that were affected by COVID. So it was a really good process for me to go through. Next slide. And this last slide highlights the new program that was just recently announced, just actually this week. You can see there they've committed $10 million to help small businesses affected by COVID. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of questions for that, and then maybe the chamber can share our contact information. Next slide. We do have a lot of information. The state has some information on their website. Looks like we'll be receiving about $600,000 for our region, Region 5. You can see the counties which represent Region 5. The applications will open December 15th. And I just want to mention here real quickly, the last round of funding was an application window, and folks were able to apply. And then we treated all of the applications the same and reviewed them. This is not the case with this grant. This is a first come, first served basis. So you're going to want to get all of your application materials ready for that December 15th deadline and submit. Just some key points here. Obviously, you need to be, this is a small business, so that's less than 50 employees. Your gross revenues need to be greater than $25,000. And this grant is for businesses with a physical location. So no home-based businesses. That's a change from the last round of funding. But I would be happy to answer any questions after this meeting or via a phone or email, and maybe the chamber can share that if you guys need some links and some information on that next round of funding. Cassie, your turn.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Cassie. I'm going to go through quite a few projects that we've worked on this year. Like many before me have mentioned, it is a very different year, but we've had a lot of things happening, very exciting things, a lot of projects moving forward, very luckily. Dupont Healthcare Industries materials site is undertaking an expansion of their elastomer manufacturing process. The facility is dedicated to supplying products to the healthcare industry. The company's products are used worldwide in applications such as pharmaceutical tubing, pacemaker leads, drug delivery patches, and lubricating coatings. The multi-million-dollar project includes new construction. They'll create several new jobs as well as retaining their 190 jobs that they currently have. SFI assisted them with the community with a tax incentive. Sargent Docks and Terminal is in the city of Zilwaukee. They recently completed a $300,000 office expansion. They're also working on a $780,000 expansion of the rail yard. The company is seeking an MDOT grant to assist with the project, and the expansion of their rail yard will allow the company to bring in whole unit trains, which will result in better cost savings to their customers. Lake State Railway is making major investments in its Huron subdivision. The $16 million project will relay rail and replace old switches along the Mackinac subline, which runs from Linwood north to Gaylord. Lake State will also make upgrades to their locomotive workshop, and through the U.S. Department of Transportation, they have gotten a $7.8 million grant to assist with this project. Lake State Railway operates hundreds of miles of tracks, stretching from Saginaw to Gaylord and Alpena and down to Plymouth. They run lines through Bay City, Midland, and Flint. So this is a very important rail line for this area, this region as a whole. The company services a number of different industries throughout the region, including timber, agricultural, and general commercial businesses. Excuse me. Youth Development Corporation is a new Saginaw nonprofit that Saginaw Future has been pretty involved with. They teach skilled trades to at-youth risk. They received one of 67 of the U.S. Department of Labor grants in support of the Youth Build program. Youth Development Corporation's grant was just under $1.5 million. They provide opportunities to the low-income youth, helping to rebuild communities and fight poverty. In the spirit of that mission, Youth Development Corporation aims to help Saginaw residents age 16 through 24 through these skilled trades programs, and they plan to train 90 students in their program over the next 2 years with the guarantee of full-time employment if they do complete all of the requirements of the program. Frankenmuth Woolen Mill was established in 1894 and will invest $1.2 million, including an expansion that will add production and warehousing space for its wool processing. The company is a small manufacturer with a retail operation and an internet business that has grown exponentially. The new space will allow them to consolidate operations, increase efficiency and productivity, and accommodate for growth. Frankenmuth Woolen Mill has had a 600% increase in internet sales since 2017. If you're not watching this company, this is a company to watch in our region. The company has increased its market presence on the East and West Coast, and its wholesale of wool bedding is growing due to demands for safe, environmentally friendly products. Frankenmuth Woolen Mill was recognized as one of 2020 awardees for the Michigan 50 Companies to Watch. If you've been anywhere around Covenant's campus, you probably saw this building going up. Leaders from Covenant Healthcare and Mary Free Bed are expanding the scope of their existing 50-50 joint venture. In addition to the current 41-bed inpatient rehabilitation unit, 4 more areas will be included in the partnership with this expansion. They include inpatient rehabilitation, outpatient rehabilitation, orthotics and prosthetics, rehabilitation physician services, and Covenant Center for Autism. The project is a $40.7 million investment, and when fully operational in the second or third quarter of 2021, the new rehabilitation hospital will bring 25 to 30 additional jobs to the city of Saginaw. Star of the West Milling Company celebrated 150 years in business in 2020 by investing $700,000. Great way to celebrate. They added a new commercial bake lab and offices and renovated the balance of their space on Tuscola in the city of Frankenmuth. Star of the West Milling Company has continued to grow in the past 5 decades, expanding from 1 mill to today's 5 flour mills in 4 different states, with 9 elevators handling corn, soybeans, and processing edible beans and providing local farmers with their crop inputs. They are now the 11th largest miller in the United States. Shaheen Development's most recent project is a new 3-story mixed-use building under construction in downtown Saginaw. This is right on Washington Avenue across from the SVRC Marketplace. The completed development will be home to first-floor commercial tenant, the State Bank, and will also include 4 well-planned residential apartments on the upper 2 floors. The project will result in an investment of $1.2 million and the creation of 8 new jobs. Saginaw Future has been working with them to get their plans approved through the city, as well as getting a Commercial Rehabilitation Act district and application, which is a tax incentive that allows them to freeze the property tax to increase the marketability of the commercial space. Amigo is partnering with Bridgeport Manufacturing to add a building and equipment for printed circuit board manufacturing in Bridgeport. The total investment is $2.12 million in the building and $1.2 million in equipment. This will result in a few created jobs. Michigan ranks 13th in the nation for installed wind energy capacity and 14th in the number of turbines installed. The area around the Great Lakes is particularly well suited for wind energy development because of the availability of higher wind speeds across flat land. DTE has taken advantage of this and really developed their wind energy throughout this region, and they plan to construct 20 to 30 wind turbines in Jonesfield Township, as well as a $6 million substation. The project investment in total is expected to be over $100 million. Hopefully you all have been paying attention to all of the changes that are coming because of the Saginaw Public School District leadership. On November 3rd, 2020, voters in Saginaw Public School District were asked to consider a $99.5 million bond proposal to address many goals of the district. This bond passed and will result in the replacement and or updating of aging facilities, infrastructure. This will help them be able to stabilize enrollment, create modern learning environments to support updated curricular and extracurricular programming, providing equitable spaces and programming for our students, and increasing student achievement. The results of these improvements will have a tremendous effect on the future of Saginaw. For all of you who voted yes, thank you. We do have another opportunity. If you want to give to the Chambers Foundation, you may also want to help with the Urban Tennis Foundation. They are the group behind the renovations planned for the existing Garber tennis courts. They're nearly at their fundraising goal of $2.2 million, and they plan to begin development in spring of 2021. The plans will include a clubhouse building with bathrooms, a flex space, and a staff person. It is slated to be completed in the fall of 2021. They are still accepting donations, and there is an anonymous donor who has agreed to match donations through the end of the year up to $500,000. If you're interested, please go to this PayPal link. It is paypal.com/paypalme/tennisfun. And if you're interested, you can contact anybody from the chamber, anybody from Saginaw Future, and we can get you this information again if I'm going through this too quickly. You can also mail your donation to Urban Youth, 300 Gulfview Drive, Saginaw, Michigan. Saginaw Future is very involved in a lot of our different communities throughout Saginaw County. One that I'm particularly involved with is the city of Saginaw. Just this year, City Council adopted a few different ordinances regulating marijuana establishments within the city of Saginaw. The ordinance has quite a few regulations with where they would be able to be placed. Of course, they have to follow all of the state's requirements, a lot of different regulations about security and lighting and cameras, and of course, the regulation of the products. One of the big things that the city of Saginaw was really particular about is the setbacks from the sensitive uses, which I have listed here. One of the more unique ones from some communities is that Saginaw is requiring a 500-foot setback from one marijuana establishment to another. So we're not going to have areas in the city where there's 5 or 10 marijuana retailers or marijuana businesses in general right in the same area. They are going to be spread out in different areas, so it won't degrade, in some people's opinion, one particular neighborhood or one particular corridor. They will be more spread out. Another thing to know, if you do know anybody or you're interested, besides going through the planning commission and all of the site planning process for approving these businesses, there's also a licensing process, which has not opened yet. That will open on January 4th in 2021. So it's coming up almost exactly a month from now. Last month was the first month that any of these businesses came before the Planning Commission, and 3 were approved. These are the 3 renderings for the businesses. They are major improvements. One of the best things that is coming out of the new ordinance is that it has created a big demand for some of our vacant spaces. 2 of the 3 of these are currently vacant buildings that will now be operating and contributing to the tax base. One is a building that was a partnership. It is a partnership with the current owners. The business was kind of going under, and now they're going to transition to hopefully a very successful business. So even in a year marked with a pandemic, there's so much growth for our community. These are just some of our projects that have been announced in 2020. And there's still a lot more. We've been working on some other developments and initiatives that are really exciting and we'll be launching in the new year. So please stay current with us. There are many reasons to stay hopeful, and we just thank you all for your time, and we hope you learned something new. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassie and Tom and JoAnn. Thank you all so much. As you can see from this presentation and from those of our staff, even though we're not together this year, we've been very, very busy. We continue our efforts to redevelop Saginaw County. We partner in the region to make Saginaw County even stronger. And so it's always great news, even in a time of uncertainty, to know that we are still moving forward. We're still with, Saginaw Future's efforts helping to create jobs. And with your support for both of our organizations, we can continue that great work. So now to wrap things up, I just want to take a minute to thank this morning's MC, our very own Chamber Board Chairwoman, Heather Gallegos. She's been with us, and as a side note, our board made the decision that because of COVID, Heather got cheated out of a whole year of activity and in front of people. So Heather will remain our chairwoman again for 2021, and we're really looking forward to her continued leadership for the chamber. So thank you, Heather. We also want to thank today's sponsors. We really appreciate your support and participation. And again, without them, we couldn't provide the services and events that bring us together to communicate, to connect, and to influence our way to a thriving business economy. Please remember that when you get a call from one of our chamber diplomats and talk with them about how your business can be part of connecting with the chamber membership, please take that call. We have something on every, monetary level. Everybody can get involved, and for us, every sponsorship and every membership matters. Our next virtual perk is in 2021. Can you believe it? January 7th, and it will feature Kevin Courtier, who is with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, who will give us a forecast on what to expect during the first 100 days of a new administration. I hope you'll be able to join us. Until then, thank you for coming. Shop with other chamber members. Enjoy the rest of your day, and really happy holidays to you and your families. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the new year.